Hello and welcome to Newbie Farm version 5, the update to the sneak peek video I did earlier last week, or midweek last week. Anyway, um, this version we're going to look at the new additions to the map, and we're going to talk about how the testing's been going. Um, but first, if you can hear that in the background, ignore it. It's the rain outside, and I was sitting here for a few seconds thinking, because I've got a headset on, so I could just hear like a dull sound, and I was like, what the hell's that noise? I thought it was my computer, and it's the rain. So yeah, let's head in and we'll take a look. All of this is still, very much the same as it was. The the Yeah, really don't like that cockerel. Um, the chicken pen has now had a hedge added around it, same as the cow pen. Not all the way around, just just to hide the this to make this pathway a bit, I guess, more realistic. A high traffic area. So that was the idea about that, and it also hides some ugly parts, especially up there. Anyway, the spelt sign has now been fixed. It's no longer hemp. That's there, as you'll have seen in the sneak peek. It's now the correct sign spelt, and spelt, from my understanding, is used more for health foods. So you'll go to your local retailer and to buy a bread or something like that, and it might have spelt, it might not. The chances are it won't, because it's normally the health foods they use for it. So you go to a health food shop and that's what you'll find in it. The fuel tank has been moved. It's now behind us where I said I would put it. There's no shelter for it. The reason being is because getting the large equipment to empty out of the silos, the shelter kind of obscured your view. So that was just left as it is now. The spawn point for the sheep isn't up here anymore. It used to be here. Yeah, there's 2,000 sheep in there, even though obviously you can't see 2,000. In fact, I think there's a cut-off point on the wool production, because I'd added 2,000 sheep, because this is like the cheat test version for testing the animals and all the main functions of the map out. The uh, the wool production is much lower than what I would have expected for 2,000 sheep. So I presume we're talking about 400 or 500 sheep, and then the wool production, or the wool multiplier, is doesn't kick in anymore. It stops, and which would make sense, because who would have 2,000 sheep apart from me in testing? I don't think anybody would. So this frees up the space for getting into here to put the water into the trough. So that was basically that idea, but also I was going to add a wool pallet collector here, and which is the new mod that's in the map. And then I thought, no, actually I won't. But looking at it, it might actually look better up here. Anyway, that's something to consider. If you think the wool pallet collector would look better where I just pointed out, then please say so in the comments. So we'll head down and have a look at where it currently is located. I can make it smaller if needs be. That's no problem. This is where it currently is located. The manure is behind. This is a storage slot, so you can fill up your greenhouses. You will start with that greenhouse, by the way, now. So you can just bring your manure after loading it in the trailer, dump it here, rather than having to keep going up there and collecting it and bringing it back down, because for some reason you can't use a trailer to tip into the greenhouses. So it was a pain to keep going and getting them, and you were in the front loader bringing it all the way down, because the buckets aren't that big, and they hold 3,000 litres of solid manure, and the buckets only hold 2. So you'd end up doing three journeys just to fill up 2 greenhouses, and which is how many we've got. So in the proper version, I mean, in the actual game that we're playing, which isn't cheated in any way. As you can clearly see behind me, I've already emptied the pallet collector once. What will happen if we speed up time, you'll get a rough idea, but I'll explain it to you anyway. The light will go off now because I'm going to stand on it, but the spawn point is here, is this grid here. The pallet will appear there, and then as when it fills up, it will move to this point, and then another one will spawn behind it, and then it will move along to the next one, and it'll keep doing that and until this back line is full. Once the back line's full, it'll move forward to that line. All of the pallets will move forward one. Then the back line will fill up again, and when that back line's full, they'll all move forward again to the final, or the first line, and then the back line will fill up again. And once that happens, and the pallets on the spawn point is full, you'll get a ticker message along the top saying wall pallet collector full, and wall production will then cease until you take at least 1 pallet off. And once you take a pallet off, wherever you take it off, the pallets will move into position to allow the space at the back to for the we get fucking tongue tied here. Wherever you take that pallet off, the pallets behind it will move forward, freeing up the space at the back for the pallets on the spawn point to move across as they are right now, and then wall production will continue until again it's full. So that's the pallet collector. If you think it should be up there where I pointed out, then please feel free to say that that's where it would look better. I won't be putting it under a shelter or anything, it will be out in the open like this. So that's the changes as far as adding things to the map goes. The other changes have been more of a cosmetic thing. In fact, I'm sure that you can go up to it and okay, then it gives you no info. Anyway, I thought it gave you info. It was my uncle who found this. He's one of the testers with me. He found the pallet collector. We put it in. It had a problem. It didn't work as it does right now. The pallets would move across the back, and then they'd move in diagonally across to there. Instead of moving forward, they moved diagonally across to where they had to go on the next line, because it was a 5x2. So that was that kind of all messed up. So I decided to build my own after my uncle found the tutorial video, which was done by Maru. Well, in fact, the mod was done by Maru, but yeah. So I watched it. It's in German, but I watched it and built my own and done a 6x3 instead. Holds 19 pallets. There's a new wheat texture now. That I think it looks fresher, gives it a new feel to the wheat. We're currently messing around with yield times and trying to find a balance, because we don't want it so you could do say 2 wheat fields and you'd equal the same growth stages, same growth time as canola, and then get the same more or similar amount of money for doing wheat. So we're trying to find a balance between all of that, so that when you do canola, there's nothing else that you can do 2 or 3 times that equals the same length of time, but gives you the equal or similar or more money to what you would get off canola. So, or sunflower for that matter. Sunflower may be removed. It depends on if I can fix it in Ian's Let's Play. Episode 24, he was harvesting sunflower, and it was vanishing before he even got anywhere near it with the combine. So it looks ugly. It's I can't remember it doing that before, but then I've never used it with the corn head. Originally, it was used with the the normal head, and it worked the same as we did for that head, but with the corn head it seems to be disappearing before the corn head gets to touch it. So that's something that I've got to look into, and if I can't fix it, then maybe soybean will be the one that will be added, because we already have an oil plant. We have rape for that, and obviously sunflower is just used for oil, so it's not a big deal taking sunflower out. And soybean is more of a common crop to grow anyway, especially in America. Even though this map isn't really based on an American map, it's not even based on a UK map, to be honest. Although, as I said in the sneak peek, that's why the road was moved and whatnot, and because the farm layout was pointed out as being more of a British style map. So I thought, what the hell with it, I may as well just make it a British style, I guess, even though I wasn't trying to do that in the first place. So yeah, we'll wait for this to finish, this row, so we can watch it all move forward, and that will give you the idea of how it works. If the pallets are moving and you go and stand on the plate, the light will light up and the pallet will stop, or pallets will stop moving until you get off. Like so, they've stopped. I get off and they continue moving. I guess Maru decides to do that as like a health and safety thing. I don't know, even though you can't actually get hurt in this, but we all know farmers' jobs are dangerous, and so maybe he done that as to make it more realistic. Anyway, New Sky for version 5. There's two problems with it. I mean, one of them is the stars. You do start to see them too early, and then when daylight starts coming, they fade out too late. Sorry. So when it's daylight, you can still see the stars up until, I don't know, about 8, 9 o'clock. No, maybe later than that, earlier than that, maybe 7, 6, 7. But you can still see the stars, which is kind of annoying because I do like this New Sky. The comet, it's always there, it never moves, unfortunately. And it just feels more realistic, I guess. So yeah, that's pretty much the changes within the map. New Sky, pallet collector, manure, storage slot, and starting off with a greenhouse, a new texture for wheat, and barley's got a new texture, and so is corn. So 3 new textures and 3 new changes, or 4 new changes to the map. Fix wise, I was standing there, wasn't I, to watch that move all into position. Oh, it's done it now, too late. Sorry about that. I got carried away with the sky and then decided to go into a world of my own. Change wise, this isn't actually the version that we're playing. The reason being is because the version that we're playing is a much earlier version. The version that we're playing doesn't have, like, it has that field and it has the pallet collector, etc. But foliage wise, it doesn't have where the updated grass has been put in, or the updated hedges have been done, or things like that. The reason being is the testers obviously don't want to have a new update every single night before it can be tested. I mean, we've done 3 days of testing now, and that's an equivalent of 13 hours in real time that we've tested. This version I've tested on my own for the pallet collector, but the pallet collector has been tested in multiplayer as well yesterday, and the logs on both computers was checked and compared, and there was no entries to be concerned with in the logs. So that was nice, no errors either. So that was all good. But what will happen is, once there's enough fixes or modifications in the next map, or the next update, sorry, for the ready for testing, then that will be given out. So then it's like, say, every week the update the latest update is given, even though in the save game the changes for the foliage layers and that will not show. It will show changes for like trees that have been moved back into position or been deleted, like the tree back down there by the shed that's been deleted. In fact, we can. Oh, actually, I don't think I've updated the. Oh, I have. The foliage layer has been updated, so there's now a hedge here. In fact, it hasn't completely been updated because the hedge sticks out further than that because you can't see this tree. So yeah, there's a hedge there now. One of the trees has been deleted. But anyway, it's been like most of it's been like little fixes or changes like that. The main changes you've seen, or the only changes. There you go. Pallet collector's full, and it won't produce any more wool until you take a pallet off. Sorry about that. I'm back. There you go. As I said, so you can still see the stars, and it's like nearly 6 o'clock, and 6 o'clock, and we can now there. So that's the one thing I don't like about this new sky texture, but it's or i3D. It's a lot better than what the original one was, I guess. It gives it a new feel. Anyway, so this has been like a quick update to Newvie Farm. Hope you like it. Let me know in the comments where you think this pallet collector should go, up there or stay down here. I'm not fussed either way. I can easily make it smaller if I need to, or if it will fit up as it is, then it can go up as it is. All that will happen is that land will be flattened out a little bit up there, so that this can sit up there. But there is something I want you to consider before you say that you'd rather see it up there, is the space for the bale, for the trailer. And you could have it down here, but do you really want to keep driving up and down here in a front loader? It doesn't bother me. I will happily drive up and down there in a front loader, and I can easily make it a 6x2 so that it doesn't get in the way of getting water out of there. So let me know if you think that the bale collector should be here, then so be it. I'll move it there. Obviously those bushes have got crash detectors behind them, so you can't push the bales off the edge, so that's not an issue. So yeah, comment and let me know. So as I was saying, this has been Newvie Farm. Hope you like the updates. I'll keep you up to date as much as I can on the major changes, I guess, on the map, and I look forward to reading your comments and seeing where you want this pallet collector. I've got a feeling that you're going to say there, and I kind of do agree that it would look better there than all the way down there, because I mean, obviously right by the sheep is where you'd expect to find the wool. But anyway, until next time, take care and see you later. Thanks for watching. Good day.